the crew as they journey through. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky. Tapestry grand, unraveling mysteries hand in hand, sailing the waves beyond the stars they soar, forever seeking more and more. Explorers at heart with whimsy and glee, the Wanderpus crew set their spirits free, in pursuit of good with chaos untamed, to find a new place to make their names. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky. Wanderpus, their hearts entwined, sailing through memories left behind, stitching the bonds that forever tie, sailing to where the sea meets the sky.
Hello everyone. Today we are playing Fade to Black. It is the continuation of yesterday's game, Running Down a Dream. It's like literally we are starting like the moment that yesterday's game ended. So real quick recap for everybody what happened yesterday. There was a giant hole in the fields where if like starlight came down you could see creatures, but when you don't have any like starlight, the creatures are invisible, and like all those creatures are super magical, and we know that Gibbet has been like studying them and hunting them to create mana batteries out of, basically poaching these sacred creatures. But don't worry, that wasn't what yesterday was about, because Lithium decided she figured out a way to capture the magic of this area without killing the creatures, but she messed that up pretty rough. Lore was there, and so instead of like gathering the energy, she was like feeding raw mana to the earth around. Well, earth is, you know, the dirt around it, which beneath this place the dream worm was sleeping. This is where the dream worm had made its nest. So we sent a spelunking crew down there, just all professionals all the way down to and like they went with Peanut's plan. Like the Lithium was saying we should gather the crystal to study them. Peanut was saying we should just collapse the entire tunnel in on itself, get rid of the nightmares once and for all. So they set a bunch of bombs and exploded it. Couple things went wrong. First thing, Scour and Bamman got drunk at the bottom and set way too many explosives. Simmons had a conversation with the dream worm and just like turned around and like ran out after setting bombs. And then in the explosion, a like pure black crystal of like crystalline nightmare came shuttling out from underneath the ground, and it was just gonna go off in the distance. It was. But then Adley played a reap and sow to make sure everybody gets out safely. And instead of just going off in the distance somewhere, this crystalline nightmare has now set itself directly in front of the sun, causing an eclipse on the entire side of seasonal. And you guys know what God rays look like. We've talked about this recently. Imagine what if God rays situation, as it goes through this faceted orb, like each facet is a different kind of nightmare. So like Dyad right now is just perfectly set that the angle of the light hitting it is causing everybody there to share the nightmare of their teeth falling out. And that's really weird for Dyad, because like they're mostly amphibians, so frogs don't have teeth. So that's a fun thing. What kind of nightmares are the people at Silver Thimble having? We don't know yet. And yet, if you were in Dyad, you would still have that nightmare. So let's get into introducing the crew, because we are picking up right there. Like, we are all just set up at the hole. Like we are here. The crystalline orb in the sky. Everybody's still around the thing. Leo and party from yesterday exhausted from like escaping the nightmare and like flying up through it, getting stabbed with a bunch of crystals. All feel really pleasant though, because they were like dream crystals, not nightmare crystals. So we have close everything. We have Caram. We have Prophecy of Zero playing Caram.
Pleased to be here.
We got Keri playing Pim.
Terrified to be here.
Excellent. We have Soap playing Cash.
I'm definitely here.
And last minute pinch hitter, we've got Lore. We have Esmie playing Lore.
I'm sure everything will go just fine.
No, I'm absolutely sure it won't. Yeah, you guys are still not back. This is like minutes after, so you guys are still somewhere, like fighting. You might still be fighting Censor for all we know. Alright, so yeah, this is where we are, everyone. Cash, I mentioned it in your Oracle thing, but you find, like, staring up at this orb, there's a sense of familiarity as well as just terror. Just everybody knows that this thing is terrifying. Even if like your character is like, I'm not scared of anything, it's like you don't have to like not go near it. Like you don't have to be like running from it or cringing from it. But inside of you, all of you are feeling like, ugh. Like that is just part of what's happening here. And like this is the entire side of Seasonal is facing this. Like the orb is not so big that it's out in space. It's just high in the sky. But so the Oracle, because again you rolled a 7, which is just a tough choice. All tough choices are way harder today. Like everything that has any tough choice you guys roll that involves one of these, a nightmare, it's much harder. But the trick of it, like the silver lining of it is full success, like successes and like 20s allow you to overcome it and set reality. Like you know how dreams work. You know all you have to do is believe in something successfully enough. And you can set it to just, it doesn't get any worse, that is as bad as it gets. But you also are aware that rolling lower than that, like any act of like failure, doubt, self-doubt, catastrophes, and failure create more nightmares. So there we go. There's your mechanic for today. Also, Caram, for all of your rolls today, you are going to roll twice. Every single one of them. And I'll explain that once you get into it.
All right.
Alright, so yeah, what's the plan here? What are you four's idea? Why are you four the four that, like, like oh yeah, everyone's voting for Krieg. Excellent. I'm expecting all the ones. Alright, why are you the four that are just gonna go after this crystal? Like, you know inside this crystal is the dream worm. But also, like, mist is swirling around it, and you guys can see, like, the nightmares, like, becoming real. Like, there are monsters running around in the distance. People are terrified of monsters. People are terrified of just, like, again, their teeth falling out. A bunch of people around, like, you guys can't see it right now, but, like, in the montage of it, you guys would see people in Hymnal running around without their clothes on, like, super embarrassed. And they're all just naked cats.
I mean, were they already naked cats?
Yeah, but they're normally wearing clothes.
Oh, so extra naked. Okay.
Just, like, naked the same way a human gets naked. Like, I'm technically naked. I'm just wearing clothes.
So, at least in the cases, without the context of the Oracle card, Kesh already felt compelled, even though he is absolutely terrified. He feels very compelled to go there, but doesn't want to admit as to why.
Having already captured, like, a version of the worm with my other team, I guess I have, some experience with it. So I'm here.
I'm going up to one. Cash and Pim are going, so it's just alright, well, can't leave those two alone. And two, don't want
Thanks, Dad.
someone else having to deal with a nightmare. I've dealt with it enough times. What's the fourth?
Laura just shows up with the airship.
It's like, Laura shows up with the airship's like, fuck it, Pim's going. I can't leave her alone. I can't leave my business partner alone. We got things to do.
You're my
We
girl!
got a battery to study
You're my
later.
girl!
Is this truly a ride or die moment between the two?
Yeah!
Ride or die.
Ride or die, baby.
So absolutely. So in the chat, everybody, can you guys just shoot out some nightmares that you guys might be seeing? Not yours, not specifically yours, unless you want specifically yours, but what kind of things are plaguing the world right now? Just so when people start rolling lower, know that these are the things that I'm going to start throwing at the world, and like, these are problems you guys in the chat are going to be responsible for dealing with, just for funsies, or the death of everybody. Right, so we are just airshipping it up for sure. I think Laura said that we've decided Laura shows up with the airship. Can you give me that 20-sider? Seasonal is the one that is being infected, Caustic. Absolutely. So, 18.
We're here.
Alright, so, well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. So, what nightmares started to appear around the airship? Like, was it like things starting to, like, break apart? And how did you, like, how did Lore just, like, nah, fuck it, these nightmares aren't real situation? What does that look like? Is it just faith in the machine that you guys built, or is it something else?
In the airship and the belief that we've been through worse and the airship has survived, so none of this shit is gonna hurt it.
Absolutely. I like the idea that you guys, like, Caram and Pim and Cash, as you guys climb onto the airship, it starts to feel like the rungs of the ladder are breaking away slightly, it's starting to feel like things are cracking, and the second lore takes off, all of that vanishes away. Like, it is just a pristine airship, and you just fly towards this orb. But, so yeah, as you're flying at the orb, it is so dark, and it is just coated in this, like, ink, like that, the stuff that is dripping off the bottom is real, but it is not like, imagine if, like, clouds just got really thick, and, like, became, like, viscous clouds. As they drop to the bottom, as they drop, they splatter to the ground, and start becoming, like, nightmares walking along the range. And that's where, like, your standard monsters and stuff are coming from. Yeah, and you guys are just flying at this thing.
I'll add during the flight that Cash has a vice grip on Caram's arm because he is not doing good currently. Vice grip and shaking effectively.
And Pim is looking to see if there's any kind of, like, break in the crystal. So she's, like, standing out at the front, just, like, eye spying.
Oh, for sure. Give me a 20-sider. Ooh, tough choice. And this is a nightmare tougher choice. Alright, so the first choice is you can see it immediately. You see what looks like a bolt of green lightning rippling through it underneath the surface of it. Like, you can see that, but that green lightning is going to, like, catch onto one of these clouds and create a monster up here. Like, or your second choice is you guys have to do a fly around, and, like, in that time, more nightmares are going to, like, fall on the crew below. And instead of, like, you dealing with the monster up here, like, the same thing is going to be down there fighting them.
I think we can handle a monster.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we'll take the hit so they don't.
Alright, Cash, can you roll me a 20-sider?
Yes.
Alright, so 15, so a success. You see, one second. This creature, like, rips itself out of the, out of the orb. Like, the green lightning created not a literal, not a crack in the orb itself, but in, like, nightmare, in the realm of nightmare behind it. You can feel, like, that is the gateway. Like, it is guarding it, though. Like, it is staring at, it makes eye contact with Cash, even from a massive distance. But Cash, you don't buckle or anything, unless you want them to buckle. But, like, you stay standing.
Oh, no, his knees would buckle.
For sure.
Whoa. I gotcha. Are you sure you're still up for this?
It's kind of too late to say it's back down now.
You're not wrong.
It's better to do, you know? Would he be able to point out that's where they need to go?
Oh yeah, you and Pim both, like, know exactly that's where you need to go. Like, yeah, you guys can see it, but it is acting like a guard dog. It is, like, you can tell. Pim, are you looking through, like, your spyglass right now?
Sure am.
So you can, like, it, like, is making eye contact with Cash, but you feel its presence like turn and look at you, and it's like looking you like dead in the eyes, even though you're just looking through one eye. And it does the nightmare smile, and like you see it like take its claws and latch itself into this orb, and spikes start like growing out of its back, and like you see those spikes are becoming like whip-like tendrils, and it is standing guard of the spot that you need to get through.
Can I hit it with far shot?
For sure, we can just start it off. Are you using the... Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, full success. So, yeah, Pim shoots this thing. And Pim just shot it with a normal bullet. But I'm gonna guess with a 15, Pim, you believe this bullet would do damage to it.
Absolutely.
And you...
MW Tinger.
And you guys see the bullet go through, and like... Cash, this thing is bleeding, and it's just like it roars in fury, and you see like like some of the spikes are like wrapping themselves together and becoming another arm, and that arm is lashing out at the airship. Hey Laura, you want to make a 20-sider? Or do you want me to attack you, or do you want to try to dodge?
I will roll and see how wonderfully horrible this goes for us.
Alright, no, you passed. Like, how did you escape this giant arm lashing out at you?
See, I channeled my inner billium and did the opposite by just grabbing the wheel of the airship and just pulling it hard in the opposite direction. So instead of ramming speed, I went away.
Absolutely. Did you go up or down? Or like you should be able to move the airship token if you want to. Just show me where you put yourself.
Yeah. We went like here.
Alright.
A little bit.
Caram, that arm is swooping right past you, but Laura's maneuver managed to like You are close enough to the arm that if you wanted to, you could lash out with an attack.
You know what? Why not? I'll grab onto a rope and just jump off to kick its arm.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Yeah, roll me 2 20-siders. Alright, so we got a 7 and a 14. This is great. Caram, which one is for the success? Which one is for like this attack? And which one is for the training that got you to this attack? Like, we're gonna do a quick flashback of Fang teaching you something that you are using right now.
I think under normal circumstances, Caram would have only gotten a 7. But the training with Fang is what got the 14.
Okay, so a tough choice. How are you attacking?
Yeah, I'm just jumping out and just hit it with a kick.
All right. So that is going to be a full success. What does it look like when you invoke your like null attacks?
I think since Caram has not gotten it down completely yet, what others would see is like, despite the black fur, it's almost like a radiating black spark that shoots down his leg as he hits it. And just like right on contact is when the spark would connect with the arm.
Okay. So, like, your tough choice is, this was while you're training, and like Fang's just like looking at you, shaking it. Like, Fang, everybody, in case you guys don't remember, is the person that's training Caram in using his like just hands and feet to like basically dispel magic. So, like, the same way no bullets work, like Caram will be able to just do it with his hands and, well, feet more specifically. And like he's just shaking his head. It's just like, you really? And like you see him like do it very subtly. His hands change like color, but like you really can't see him do it unless you're really looking. It's just like those sparks are going to be too noisy. Like it's too flashy. Like you got to really work on that. So now we know, Caram, whenever you are trying to use this, you cannot hide the fact that you are doing this. So there's your tough choice. You can either hit this thing with a standard kick, which you'll still do standard kick damage, or you could hit it with a null kick, and it'll do more. But you will set into stone that your null kicks are sparky and flashy.
Is this a forever deal, or is this?
It's a forever for now. It'll last until we'll work on it later. But for right now, the way that you know how to do it is this.
I think for now, this is the way that it's a starting point.
Absolutely. So did you like kick it in the arm? Like as the arm, like did you kick it in the hand, arm, elbow? Where are we looking?
I think it's specifically right at the forearm, just dead center of it.
Alright, so yeah, you guys hear like a crunch as like Caram kicks through the clouds, and like he hits bone underneath, and you do hear like the arm bones snap a bit, and this thing just screams again, and everybody down there like everybody below, you guys like have to cover your ears. That's how loud this scream is. Alright, and Cash, did you have anything that you wanted to do?
You could also attempt to shoot it as well, but it would only be with a regular bullet.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me that roll. Alright, another success. So yeah, you guys are just like peppering the hell out of this thing. And like, yeah, so you see the bullet, it like you did say, it's just a regular bullet. Does Cash, asking honestly, does Cash believe that this bullet will hurt this thing?
He hopes it does. So there's a half belief and a half like there's no way this can work.
Alright, so yeah, you see the bullet like hit it, like Caram, the bullet like hits it basically right where you kicked it, but there's no penetration. Like the bullet hits and then just like falls off, and like you see that moment of just the bullet falling down below. And that's when Laura's invasive maneuvers like finish up, as like Caram's being pulled by the string like out of this thing, tries another swipe with one of its like tendrils, and it completely misses because like Laura's being towed behind by the airship. Right? But you guys are set up to do like, you can make another movement. It's not dead, but like you guys have wounded its arm.
Well, Laura, get us in there.
You bet your ass I will.
So, are you flying right at it? Or like, oh, yeah. What do we got?
Laura's gonna come around and aim for more of a broadside. And this time, like, the goal will be to use the guns on the airship to attack it.
Oh, hell yeah.
While she's flying.
Another 15, so yeah. What's it look like as you do this? Are you like, we have talked about the guns that the airship has as like, basically giant-ass cannons. And like, oh wait, no, like the, almost like the Millennium Falcon situation. Like there's a room where you just like have your arms in it. You can, if you only have 2 arms, you can only fire half of the guns though.
Can I hop on the other set and help?
Are you guys like piggyback riding each other? Is Laura on Pim's shoulders or Pim on Laura's shoulders?
Pim is on Laura's shoulder. This is ride or die moment.
Yeah.
We get a quick view. It's just like, hey, Laura, I thought you were driving, and it's just Crabbert like at the wheel, like cigarette in one of his claws, like wheel in his like controls in the other.
I love it.
Alright, so yeah, you guys are like going ham, just like firing the hell out of it. And Vatten is shooting it from the ground. All cool, 4 damage. And you guys like, so you guys do an additional like 8 damage to it by firing this gun. Yeah, Pim, you can make a roll here too, add on to it for sure.
How bad? Barf.
Tough choice. You can really hurt this. Like just alright. So Pim, what does it look like? How was it going wrong? And how did you how did you correct that? Like, did you see a weak spot? What did it look like? Because this turned into a 20. You guys are able to like finish this guy off right now.
All right. So I'm on Laura's shoulders, and my gun is jamming, but I'm like staring through the scope on it, and I can see right dead center in the middle of its head there's a soft spot. And I know that if we can get this gun working, we can just blow this dude's brain out. And so Pim like reaches into her back pocket and like grabs out a wrench and just jams it into the gun and like wiggles some stuff around, gets it loose, and then just fires the kill shot right in between his eyes.
Oh, for sure. Like, so it like blows up into like an inky smoke. And Cash, can you roll me a 20-sider?
Sure can.
Alright, so we got a 3. What is Cash doing right now? So you're on the deck of the ship. Like Caram is on a rope. Like he's good. Like you can be pulling him back up while like after his attack. The guns are firing like crazy. You see a bullet just go right into the thing's like skull and just like it bursts into smoke. What is Cash doing right then?
Well, yeah, he would be trying to pull Caram back up onto the ship, and in that moment, he let go of the rope.
So, in that moment, like everybody feels like a vacuum situation coming from the orb as it pulls back in the cloudy nightmare. Cash, it also grabs you.
Oh, fun.
So you guys see Cash get pulled off of the ship, and Cash is now like it's just like, ooh, 1 second, let me grab the token. Cash is flying towards that spot. Like, pretty quickly. But that, like, it wasn't a 1, so they're not stuck in the nightmare thing just yet. But that's what's happening right now. Cash, I think you crash against this, crystalline structure of it. I can actually show you. Here we go. Let me move Cash over a little bit. So Cash, you have slammed into this. And like underneath the dark crystal, you can see just countless nightmares like ebbing and flowing under there. And like you can see hands pressed up against the inside of this, like as they are trying to like reach to you to get you. And you can also feel yourself slowly sinking into it.
When he was crashed up against it, it cracked one of the lenses of his glasses. So he's in one eye. He's seeing far more than there are because it's shattered.
Terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. He's gonna be attempting to get away, but since there's really nowhere to go, it's basically just like it's like flailing, and I'm assuming kind of like quicksand. The more you struggle, the more you go in, right?
Very good, very good. Very cool. So everybody else, you guys see this happen. Like you guys see like them like slowly like getting sucked towards this crystal. So what's your plan?
Well, we've got to go get him.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, get us close to the thing. Did Cash crash close to the opening?
Oh, right on it.
All right.
Like I'm thinking of it like I don't know which Aliens movie it was. Where she shot a hole in it and the alien got sucked through it, but like in a really gross way. But that's basically happening to Cash with this dream crystal. Nightmare crystal.
I think that was Aliens too, by the way.
Yeah, get us close.
Yeah. So, Laura, you are feeling this ridiculous, like, pull coming from it. Like, it's not as strong as the airship. Like, if you're trying to get away from it, like, its pull isn't that strong. But if you are flying towards it, it's going to be more difficult. But, what you got for me?
We've got to double up, so we're roll twice, right?
Yep. Oh, 19. Fucking sick.
So, yeah, Laura is just riding the current in towards Cash, and then at just about almost the right moment, she's gonna pull back and angle the ship to try and get close enough to at least where the rope is close enough for either Cash to grab the rope or for someone to climb down and grab Cash if it's not quite close enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, you guys can like swoop in, like Caram still dangling from his rope.
Just full Tokyo drift it.
Just. I like the idea that Caram was so close, like Cash was just about to like pull them onto the thing, and all of a sudden just got like pulled towards it themselves. It's just wait, no. So yeah, like you do it. You park right next. You can like stop it right next to him. And that is the way in, right there. Ooh, sorry, I forgot to move tokens. This is where we are. So yeah, Cash, you can reach out and grab the rope. It's Caram, are you still on the rope, or are you on the deck throwing the rope out for Cash?
I think that I managed to grab the edge of the deck as Cash let go of the rope. I was reaching up to grab his hand and I managed to catch it, so I'm on deck throwing the rope out.
Like, I want to say, I feel like with the, I think Adley played at +1 to make that at 19 to 20.
Yeah.
I think with the 20, instead of needing the rope, we just pull up perfectly that Caram can just stick his hand out and grab cash.
I'm down for that.
Oh yeah, so am I.
Yeah, for sure. And with like Pim's scouter and with like Cash's knowledge, you guys can see like a tiny, well, there's no other word for it, rift in this crystal. Like one of the facets can work almost like a door for you right now. But
So is this an us-sized door, or I leave the an airship-sized door?
it's definitely a U-sized door, unless you can somehow turn the airship into mist.
No, I think we've had our channeling of Billiam for the day.
I mean, I'm down if you guys want to crash it into it. We'll see what happens. We can Hindenburg this shit. I'm down. Let's go.
We've done too much work on this ship.
That's definitely somebody's nightmare.
Yeah, you guys didn't even turn it into a mech or anything. I was ready for it, but
Oh, I didn't know we were allowed to yet.
yeah, fuck yeah, I don't care.
Oh my god! Can we just like turn it into a mech and start punching the shit out of this thing instead?
I don't think we can stay airborne during
Just
that.
ripping it apart with the mech. Just
Oh no, the mech flies. I've got.
God, it flies.
It's got a cape.
Yeah.
It has a cape.
What kind of what do you take us for? Of course it has a cape.
Oh, I'm down for either option here.
Are we gonna Gundam rip this thing apart, or
Just
are
in
we?
case anybody was wondering, like this is our fucking like mech. It's got a whip sword.
I
And a
stole it
bunny
out of
ears.
the mouth of a sunbearer mech. It's lore colored and Pim shaped. Yeah, so what do we want to do? Do we want to try to punchy hole through this thing and do some damage to the actual crystal, or do we want to just hop in and hope for the best inside?
Well, since we don't quite know what this consistency of crystal is, I think right now it might be better to travel in than punch it.
But whip sword. Laser whip sword. We might be able to make the hole big enough to take the whole mech in.
That sounds like final last words.
Hey, I'll let them do what they want. They know that they're risking the airship.
That is true.
Laura, what do you think?
This is a tough choice without even rolling for it.
I mean, there's gonna be a big worm in there, let's face it. Maybe we just make the hole a bit bigger and take the whole mech inside.
That's true.
I can tell you guys right now, like, if you want, like, the tough choice, here's what the actual tough choice of it is. You guys can take this in there. I'm solid with you guys taking the mech in there. That's perfectly fine. You will have to cut it open further, but that just makes it more dangerous for the people out here. Like, it raises the heat for the entire seasoning side, not for your game. Like, your game stays the same level of difficulty because you're in a fucking mech. But again, like you release more of the nightmare on this world.
That is what I was thinking would happen. Thank you for the confirmation.
Alright, let's get on the fucking airship.
I'm not saying not to. I'm just giving you guys
Look,
the
we're
fucking...
getting support to go, and we've still got double up for a little bit, so we're gonna see if we can widen this hole.
You're Kaiju battle! Let's go!
Oh, Lord.
Alright.
Yeah, so fuck? Alright, what's it look like? Like, how... Okay, first, everybody, you gotta tell me what it looks like transforming. I need a transformation montage, everyone.
So I would say Pim and Lore hop into their piloting stations, and we gotta keep in mind, I designed this thing after a Jaeger. So we are right next to each other, ready to freaking go, and we are synced up. And we're gonna hit the transformation button, and then all of a sudden you're gonna hear all of this kind of groaning, like the metal groaning, like you would like an old, like, carnival ride type deal, as everything slowly starts to shift, and you hear all these slams as everything locks into place, and you hear like a crazy lightsaber sound, just boom, as the lights, the laser whip comes out of the hand of the mech and just lashes down onto the crystal and widens that hole.
I mean, for real, it fucking happens. As like, yeah, Cash, you immediately see that, A, you guys can get this mech in there, but you see the problem that it is caused at the same time. What nightmares do you see pouring out of this? You don't have to go like deep into it, but like, what type of creatures? Like, what scary thing comes out?
Uncanny, multi-limbed with multi-jointed creatures. Like
So spiders. Just spiders.
No, like they have knees and elbows in places that should not be there.
Yep, I'm still pretty sure that's how I define a spider.
They could also be people-shaped, who knows? It's horrifying, that's all I know.
It's 10 times worse if it's people-shaped.
Oh, it's definitely people-shaped
hands
then.
At the end. It's just a bunch of arms with like too many joints.
It's not spider people, it's people spiders.
Oh, okay. So, like, what if a spider was covered with human skin and body hair,
Ah.
Oh,
but like bristling body hair?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Hey, crew at the bottom. These things are falling like tightly balled up, but once they hit the ground, like you see them like start to shake and then come to their many extra feet and hands, for the record. And they are rushing through. Like, these things are pouring all over, around. You guys can see them falling around Delve. You guys can even hop into airships and how do you guys get there quickly to help Delve deal with this nightmare situation of these strange skin spiders? Now, like, raiding
See, now
through.
they just sound weird when you call them skin spiders.
That's kind of the point.
I know.
Everyone hears Pim over their radio. Just, sorry, we need this. You guys are fine. You got this. I believe in you.
I was trying to make a epidermis joke, but I couldn't think of one. But like, me. Alright, so yeah, you guys, let me get the mech. Let me copy this one. Alright, so yeah, you guys fly right. Do you guys go in now that it's like a wide open like door? Like, it is less you try, like, Cash, you were sinking into the crystal. Like, that was the pathway you saw into it. This instead is... Okay. So you guys cross a threshold. And you appear here. In, like, this, like, crystalline nightmare situation. Cash, it is terrifying to you.
Oh yeah. He is on the floor, fighting, trying to find a corner, and is trembling.
You guys are seeing tall creatures that, and like it almost always, you can't see the whole thing because it seems like they're layered on top of each other, like walking through, and like they are hellish for their size. This is my fear. You guys are currently dealing with what I'm scared of, and it's just like the mech is huge, and in the mech you feel like you shouldn't have a problem with them, but they are still so much taller than you. But here's an important thing based on the way you guys got in here. You guys do not appear double, like, superimposed on top of each other. You guys are all super clear. Like, you guys are in 4K high definition right now. Like, that is where we are right now. Like, you guys have crossed into the world of nightmares, but in physical form, you know, I can't remember, what is it, like, you're in the land of the dreams, but, oh, it was fucking Wheel of Time. God damn it. But if you guys have read Wheel of Time, think of the wolf guy, Perine Bar. Think about him. That is what's going on. But you guys are, like, in a dream, in your real bodies.
Huh. Cass. I go over to Cass and just, hey, come on, relax, breathe, fine.
Oh, I don't think we are. This is the worst possible place we could end up.
So, Pim, what are we looking for here? Do you guys have any idea, like, are you just literally attacking anything that looks like the worm? Are you attacking any nightmare? Like, is it like a thing? What's the plan?
So, can I use my little viewfinder guy, my scope, and see if I can't pinpoint something like that looks different, that isn't just these nightmares?
Okay, so we're looking for something different. Yeah, go ahead and give me a 20 cent. Oh, wait. Do you have... Let me check your abilities real quick. You have Delve.
I do. Should I? I can. Yeah, that was my other option.
I think
Yeah,
combining the two together would be cool.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll use the viewfinder, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna let out a whistle, like a one loud whistle, and try to get like a lay of the land while looking for something that seems different, that isn't just these like false nightmares.
Yeah. Hit me with give me the 220 siders. I feel like I know that double up isn't still up, but I feel like my explanation was take. Oh fuck, natural 20. So yeah, so you look around, and with a natural 20, you're getting two things. You are getting a piece of this nightmare that it doesn't read the same. Like, based on like Adley's telling you guys about over the comms about frequencies of nightmares, and Simmons telling you guys about it too. You can like tune to a frequency of nightmares, and like it is everywhere. But you see one place, and I'm not saying it's not a nightmare, but you guys have ever had a nightmare that was kind of fun? You know, once you woke up, it was almost like watching a scary movie. It's like, oh no, that was fun. Like, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So like, you see that spot. You see that nightmare. Like, it's below you in quite a ways. It is, but as you turn, you can see the most powerful. Like, you see the nightmare-ass nightmare on the other side. Like, it through your viewfinder, it looks to be just like microscopic. When you like look through a tapeworm or something on a microscope, you see that outline behind the clouds, behind the mist.
All right. So I'm going to assume that that is the dream worm.
Yes, you would definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But that's just the first thing that you see. The second thing you see is, why do you have a reading from midnight in here? Like,
Midnight?
it just straight up matches, like when you look at midnight with the visor. Straight up matches, exactly. But it's huge and almost like insubstantial.
Is Easter cursed?
Oh, midnight's hella cursed.
Guys, I'm getting a reading for midnight.
Midnight?
Yeah, midnight. Wonder if that has anything to do with him being all funky. Also, over there, Dreamworm. Definitely Dreamworm.
And over there, pleasant nightmares.
Over there, something kind of fun.
Over there, adrenaline junkie shit. Over here, fortifying.
I guess
We
the
have-
question is, do we check out the midnight signal or not? Because we definitely want to do that first rather than second.
Yeah, I would definitely say if we're gonna do this, we need to go figure out the midnight thing and then head over to the worm and hopefully handle the problem.
Oh, Cash, which would you like?
Personally, neither. But if it has something to do with possibly helping Midnight or figuring something out, I'm sure that's the better option for now.
Down for that, Lord?
Oh, that sounds great for me.
Alright. Well, me and Cash will keep an eye on the inside. You guys handle what's out there.
Alright. We're gonna move the mech towards the midnight signal.
Alright, so, sorry. Lord, go ahead and give me a favor and give me another roll, please. Just killing it.
Apparently, I picked the right color.
Lord's just fucking, like, I know how to fly this thing like crazy. So, I think this is the first time the airship hasn't been, like, immediately destroyed. No, wait, last time we took it out, it was pretty okay.
I don't think we ever outright destroyed the airship. It's just needed some repairs.
Got close with
Unlike the sub.
got close with during the game that Royce had to throw the mana battery.
It was fine. You just throw it in a lake.
Yeah, everybody was fine. The ducks were fine. The fish, like, it's all worked out for the fish.
Everything
Yep.
worked out great.
Alright, what are we looking at?
So in the distance, there is a, like, ridiculous, like, form. It could be a wolf head, but it is just, again, super tendrily, super, like, it is, like, living shadow as it, like, courses through, and you see it hunting down lesser nightmares and just consuming them. Like, you see basically, like, your Freddy Krueger or whatever, like, scrabbling away as this giant wolf head, like, peers out of some cloudy mist and snatches it up and just crunches it in half. And you just see viscera as it just, like, instills fear in the other nightmares around it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does this give me the same like vibes as the shit we dealt with in last Sunday's game?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, good. I know we can fucking kill it. Or just like, oh hey, we fucked that guy up.
What do we do?
We fuck him off.
I don't know. What do we do when we have a giant mech? Cashing on to something.
Don't worry, I already am.
So we think this is part of Midnight, though?
Roll me. I mean, you got a 20, so you got a signal. But if you want to do more research, you're gonna have to give me more rolls.
I'll do a roll. Fuck.
4. What does the research show you? Or, what are you willing to give up on the airship for this to be a success? Like, what bad is gonna happen for me to turn this 4 into a just an 11? Like, how much for all 4 of you? What are you willing to give up to make this successful?
Honestly, one thought that's coming to mind for like a bad thing is, for now, the mech is going to be unable to transform back into the airship. Like, parts are going to end up broken that it can no longer morph back. Allowing people in general to see what the airship is capable of.
Okay, like if we're gonna do that, and like I'm gonna leave that up to Laura and Pim too, because this is theirs. If we're doing that, it's gonna be a while that you guys won't be able to like transform this thing back. So you guys won't have access to the airship for some games. And like the airship is going to be not, you guys don't know how to fly this thing. There's a very few number of people that know how to use the airship in mech mode. It's Pim, Lore, and Valentina and Nickel are the only ones that know how to fly this in mech mode. Am I right with that, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I know that there was training of someone, but I don't think that ever.
We
finished.
trained Valentina.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like
Technically Crabbert, but Crabbert doesn't show up as often. But Crabbert's taking
absolutely, Crabber knows how to do it too.
But Crabbert's taking a sabbatical after this, apparently.
Yeah, he only knows how to like pilot like very simplistically. He doesn't know how to like do the like anime moves. I was like, are we cool with that? Like, you guys are gonna be stuck airship mode and not mech mode only. Like, in mech mode, it can take more damage because it's not as nimble to dodge. It obviously does more damage, but it's not fragile, but it breaks easier when it's a mech.
I don't know. Vote.
Hey, this is your choose. This is
Esmie,
your
what do
two
you think?
choices. I'm just throwing out an option.
I think I am good with that. Also, because I don't think we would have most likely we would not have transformed this back into the airship.
Yes, it's
for the
just
rest of
going to
this game,
have.
so like,
It's gonna have
You
some lasting
guys-
effect for a bit.
Also, y'all have land shit. Like, you've got vehicles that nobody ever uses, so y'all can use vehicles for a couple games.
I mean, that's fair.
Make them worth something. All right. Yep. Okay. I'm good with that.
Absolutely. So that you guys just get too close, and you see like a shadowy tendril like pierce the mech right through like the sternum, but you guys like duck around and all the wreckage. It's 100% early Star Trek. Everybody's like rocking back and forth in their seats.
Whoa!
Yeah, like sparks are flying off all over the place. But then once everything gets back, it's just like you guys look at the damage, and you just guys can't transform back. So like you are slowed down significantly in this form, but you're still a giant ass mech. Cash, from those tendrils, you do begin to see some nightmares like hitting the ground and like slowly forming into like in the hallway next to you are 3 shadowy wolves like pacing at you, their eyes glowing and nightmare smiles on their muzzles.
Oh, he's gonna scream. Straight scream before fumbling to pull a gun on them.
All right, so I'm sorry, my brain just shut down. Is it part of midnight?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. With the success. I'm sorry. I got carried away with fucking with Cash. This is midnight. This is Midnight's shadow. Like, this is not the imposter that Lore saw last Sunday. It's very, very similar. It's good that you caught. It's just like Lore getting ready to be like activate the fucking
getting ready to hit the fucking sword button.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so this being midnight, obviously we cannot kill it. We have to get it out. We have to save it. This is a rescue mission, not a murder. Can I try to talk to it? Like we've got this giant intercom.
I don't think you could, but I think somebody else on this ship could. But they're currently screaming as 3 wolves are chasing them down a hallway.
He's not having a good time.
I think this is when Caram would come in to protect Cash.
I am gonna make sure that the mech kind of raises its hands in no, everything's fine. As we wait for Cash to snap out of it!
There are
Cash, it's
wolves.
midnight, we need you!
I understand, but I have wolves that kind of have my weird thing going on and they're freaking me out.
I know, but it's midnight. I need you to pull through. He's our friend.
You can get me off of this part. I will come do something. Just please. Oh my god.
I'm trying. Here we go. Okay, 1 second. I'll get all the tokens moved for us.
Wow, it's so pretty.
The inside of the airship's really nice.
Ah.
We should have more times when we get to see the inside of this. It's nice.
Yeah,
I mean, it means that there's intruders on board, but...
It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
One second. I did not fully have this part prepared, because I would, if you guys fought it, absolutely, I'm down. I wasn't prepared for sending nightmares onto the ship. And then I did it anyway.
As you do.
As you do.
I have so many tokens.
Can't be evil is friendship.
Oh yeah, Caram and Cash, can you first Caram roll, not Caram, Cash, can you roll as you you said you were firing your gun at them?
Why is Leo here?
Oh shit, that's right. It's because I copy and pasted them all from one thing. Like, so directly behind Cash and all of them, there's a little Leo. And I'm not, like, I know why, it's just I'm really lazy.
Okay, I'll roll.
Another full success, for sure. So what does it look like? Do you stop and fire, or are you just firing behind your shoulder?
I think he'd stop. He'd try to get his wits about him and stop to at least fire off a round.
Yeah, and with the success, like, as you pull the trigger, like, you do just hit it right through the skull as it just, like, bursts into, like, the absence of light for a moment, and then, like, disperses. But the other two are, like, charging down on you very quickly. And Caram, this is where you come in.
Alright. Just no hesitation, just jumping straight in and going for just a quick punch on one. Being like, oh, come on. And I said I was gonna fight you afterwards.
Oh, natural 20. Like, that's going to count for both of them. So, Caram, for that 20, what lesson did you learn from Fang that you learned perfectly? What about using this null stuff is just like breathing to you?
I think because of how he was going about training me, the thing that is specifically drilled into me is being able to read it in the, like, air around me. And it's allowing me to pinpoint the one spot I need to hit on something to get the best hit possible.
Okay, absolutely. So you're a little bit fighter, right? Or are you mostly fighter?
More spider than spy.
Okay, absolutely. So you know the move that what's it called? Is it read up? Nika uses size up. Nika uses it quite a bit, and I love it. When if you don't have it already, add size up to the abilities that Caram has. But when you size things up, you can see the pressure points in them. Like, you can, like, based on the size of the creature, based on the AP of the creature, will, like, tell me how many pressure points it has. If you hit them all, you take their magic away.
Alright.
And is that what you just do to, like, these two? You just see their pressure points, and they both only have, like, a couple. So what does it look like as Caram comes in? Do you like you said, you jabbing them? Are you hitting them spot on, or do you have, like, a knuckle extended? Like,
I think it's a mixture. Like, the first one, he sees one of the points is right under its jaw, and he just hits it up. And as it's in the air, he sees the point. It's smaller on the center of the chest, and just knuckling it right there. The other one tries to come at Caram, and he sees it just for that moment that's underneath one of its legs, and he kicks it out from under it, and just punches down right in the center of the back, seeing the last one.
absolutely, I'm fully support that. And yeah, those two gonna I saw the bombard happen. And so I think Cash, the way that you see this happen is so ridiculously fast and just so, like, just amazing at what it was, because it was a natural 20. Just, like, it was so good. You see, like, Caram has multiple arms for a second. So we're going to add to that ability of turning off things pressure points. I think if you get a 20, you get to hit, like, up to 4 spots at once.
Alright.
Yeah, you basically are. But Cash, you with him, like the way he hit those, you see what Pim is figuring out, and as it's coming over the intercom, I think you guys probably both say it at the same time. It's Midnight's Shadow.
Well, that's certainly a something.
Are you guys done down there? We're gonna need some help, please.
Yes, I think we're done. And then he turned to Caram and be like, how in the hell did you do that?
Don't question it, just roll with it.
Sure, alright. I can only trust you saying that so many times.
That's fair. Let's get going.
Alright. So... Ooh, where are we? Here we go. Back to the mech versus giant wolf part of it. Lore, it is continuously attacking you guys and, like, biting at you. Like, Lore and Pim, like, it is continuously, like, attacking you. It's not letting up. Like, you saw it, like, wince for a second when, but that lines up with when Caram, like, made the other one stop existing via, the magic. These ones didn't explode into clouds, by the way. Those two did not. They just stopped. Like, the one that cast shot blew into smoke, and the smoke slowly, like, was reabsorbed into this creature.
I'm gonna say we're doing everything we probably can to kind of dodge without trying to hurt it. We're just trying to keep away from it as it's swinging wildly, because we know who it is.
Okay, so no firing on it, but just straight evasive maneuvers?
Yeah.
Yeah, like evasive maneuvers and using the arms of the mech to kind of like redirect it as
Oh my
we
God.
can.
Mech Judo.
Mech Judo!
Both of you give me 20-siders. Fucking love Mech Judo. We're going with the 16 because we're going with the higher. That's actually really cool because that implies evasive maneuvers didn't work. You just couldn't get out of the way. Like, you see it becomes like very almost werewolf-y, but huge, like on the same scale as you guys, as it charges in. What maneuver does the mech know? Like what do you guys know in this? Like, what does it look like, Lore, as you throw this? What kind of throw is it?
Oh God, I'm trying to think, 'cause I don't know. I personally don't know a lot of judo.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about judo, personally. It's like, we could go pro wrestling, though. Like, do you just give it the pedigree? Like, because that's very funny.
I also don't know what that is.
Alright, yeah, just suplex. The pedigree is, like, Triple H's, like, special thing. He basically puts your head between his legs and, like, drops you on your face. Everybody seems to like the suplex, though, for the record. Yeah, hit it with that SPD.
Oh my God.
It's a good thing you four aren't part of the wrestling game coming up. Let me tell you.
It's a good thing.
I expect quick answers in that game. I expect all of my references to be understood.
Yeah,
Well,
I would
you definitely
say
can't have me then.
Oh, yeah, definitely not me.
Yeah, suplex this thing, then wave your hand in front of your face a bunch of times.
I
So I
get
would
that
say-
reference.
we probably do that and get it on the ground and kind of hold it so Cash can try to talk to him. I like gotta animate the suplex.
Yeah, kind of have it held down so that way, like one of the forearms of the mech is like up underneath its jaw.
Oh, stop resisting.
All right, do your thing, Cash.
Do my thing. What the
It's
hell am I
midnight.
Yeah, I was
supposed?
like, what are we planning for? Like, Cash was running away from wolves, and he's like, oh, it's Midnight Shadow.
Up to it. This is technically part of midnight.
So.
Please
Yeah,
don't make me
so
go
I'm assuming
midnight.
he's handed a microphone that will,
Oh my god, it definitely comes out of the face of the mech, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just Cash's voice coming out of the mech.
He just kind of looks at them because he's like, we're not here to hurt you. Is all I can think of because unfortunately he doesn't know Midnight enough or well enough to try and say something that would convince him to come back.
Oh, I love it. Let's get a roll then. If you don't know what to say, we decide this on rolls.
Oh, panic.
All right, so a tough choice, and this is a great tough choice because we know tough choices are worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't get through to it. That's the first the first thing. Like, something about you will scare it, and it will go running. Regardless of how this game goes, that shadow will be out there in the world somewhere. And like, that is fine. Like, plot point for us to chase down. We know that we're not killing Midnight Shadow in this game. Now, your second option is, yeah, it'll come with you. Like, something about you feels right. You're gonna have Midnight Shadow as your shadow.
Oh, shit.
You will become possessed by Midnight's fear demon.
I'm kidding.
The right.
No.
Oh my god.
It's the right choice.
I'm gonna go with the second one. Only because I can imagine in his absolute panic, he goes, "Who's a good boy?"
Who's a good boy? So great. Fuck. I'm a good boy. I'm gonna get that ball.
Boy.
Oh my
God, I love what
Okay.
Lynn said. Cash, afraid of his own shadow.
For the record now, Cash, whenever you're in a game, you're gonna. I'm also gonna have Midnight's character sheet, and you can just use Midnight's abilities.
Oh, holy shit, okay.
Just straight up. Like, that's just. We're just moving forward with that.
I mean, at least that means he's here and around, but following the wrong person.
Yeah, now we just have to figure out how to put the two back together. I've heard that sewing it back onto your foot works.
I heard
You
soap
know, I was
also works
thinking the
too.
same thing.
That's what Peter Pan taught me, anyway.
Exactly.
That's a problem for later.
That is the
fine.
100% true. You definitely know about that. That is a way that somebody had reconnected their own shadow at one point in time. They talk about it in folk song all the time.
Perfect.
But man, it's really hard to get to Never Never Land. Like, even as a pirate, you guys never made it.
Didn't. Second star to the left and straight on till morning. Never got there.
For the record, I also had to mute myself because I cackled at even what I said. God damn it.
Good boy. All right. Well-
With that, Nika, can you roll me a 20-sider for how the crew is doing in Dyad with our disgusting spider friends? You guys are doing pretty okay. So you guys have so far cleared them out of the town with very minimal, like, breakage. Like, the pottery shop got a little destroyed. In the musician lost multiple instruments as these things would come in and, like, grab them. But while they were still attacking the town, they were playing these instruments with their weird spider fingers. and that is just causing more.
It's just the Doom theme.
Yeah, it's the worst. Oh, for sure, yeah. Minate comes rushing in and he pulls out Giri's sword and he's just slashing the shit out of these things. But like, so he turns the tide. It's not just you get them out of the town. You guys eliminate them completely. So like, roleplay a complete success of like protecting this town. But I know Caram said BRB, but so what was like? You guys got it. Like you guys see Cash. Cash has a shadow that Cash might not be smiling right now, but for some reason, Pim and Lore, like if you look at that shadow is giving you the fucking ear to ear creepy smile.
Unsettling, but at least we got him. Good boy. Who's a good boy?
It's okay, buddy. We'll get you back where you belong.
Cash, your tail's wagging. I don't know if Cash has a tail, but it's like the shadow has a tail, and like you guys feel it wagging back and forth.
Is it too late to ask for the frogs?
Yes.
Damn it.
Alright, so I would say now that we got, midnight, maybe we go check out the whole Dreamworm situation, guys.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the only way to go forward with this.
Alright, make sure your shadow doesn't pee in my ship.
I like how we've just acknowledged that his shadow is just basically a dog. It's just like Midnight, fully a person. His shadow, a dog.
So we have a special outdoor area on the airship built in.
Just like little potty pads.
It's the Goofy and Pluto dynamic.
Oh shit, it is the Goofy and Pluto dynamic. Is it the amount of clothes? Is that the answer to this question?
Apparently, yes.
It can't be intelligence because Pluto's obviously smarter.
God, but fuck it. I can't go down this rabbit hole. I can't. So like Daffy Duck only wears like half of clothes, and so does Mickey.
Let's focus on the dream world.
Anyway, we're not getting stuck in this saddle.
To the dream.
All right, hit me with that 20-sider, Lore. And also, like, how are you guys like? How does the airship move in here? The ground is solid. You guys could fly because mechs have to fly. That's like a rule. They have to be able to. Oh, it finally broke bad for you.
So it turns out we can't fly in here.
Oh shit. So the airship like falls and like not falls, but like yeah.
The damage to the center of it that stops it from transforming.
Tries
also
to
stops it from flying.
take off to fly and then just kind of thunks back up the ground.
Oh yeah, like the suplex did it. You're overly ambitious with it.
Jarred apart out of alignment. Now we're just like, well, guess we gotta huff it.
Don't worry, flying mechs and running mechs are equally as cool. Like, Alright, so like with the 5, as you approach it, you guys can feel wave after wave of just like, because like, think of the background, that pale light in this, that is where you guys have to go. And like multiple times you guys are getting like attacked by tendrils coming from the mists, and like it is taking everything you guys have for Pim and Lore to be like shooting these things down as they approach, not giving Lore enough time to like use like what's the word I'm looking for? Well, evasive maneuvers again. So you guys are getting hit over and over again. Now, I will ask Pim and Laura if it's cool for me to do this. If not, we'll just say no. Have either one of you two ever seen a show called G Gundam? In G Gundam, it's like normal Gundam series, but for some reason, instead of like controlling it with normal controls, they have a room where somebody goes in and they get like a skin-tight suit put on them. And then whatever they do, the Gundam does.
I mean, I'd say that's somewhat similar to the Jotun, not Jotun, the Jaeger situation.
Very similar to that, but like if we were to put like a third bay for somebody to control the maneuvers only, and you two like would continue the shooting down, so you guys are like arming all the guns, and say we have a nimble Warpletinger hop in that and charge the ship towards it. Does that sound like a thing that we could do? And let's not. Or if you guys can think of a different way for like Caram's expertise right now in like fighting multiple targets to help you guys out.
That does sound like a plausible thing we could have. Like, we could have been working on as a backup.
Yeah, we could definitely say it's like a experimental stage.
Oh, experimental.
Yeah, because when we first, made the airship transform, we just made the pilot part for the 2 when we're like, oh shit, what happens? What happens if the fight's so intense we need more?
Thank you for supporting me in this my time of need. Caram.
Mm-hmm.
How do you parkour through a nightmare?
Oh, I'm definitely just as I'm. At first, it's hard for me to really maneuver. I'm barely dodging them, but I'm slowly getting into the feel of things. It's like this would be like not walking for more than a day or two, and then getting up. That's the feeling that Caram has right now. Just, it's completely foreign to him. But as he's slowly getting it down, he's seeing like little footholds on like the mountains around that he can jump off of. Slowly getting it into it and feeling what the mech can truly do power-wise.
Alright, Caram, give me that 20-sider. Get us there. Oh! That's another 5. Alright, sorry. Next on the list, the airship crashes on its face. Like, Oh, +1. Alright, okay. Tough choice. I love it. Here for it. Cards. The card will supersede the thing because like we can do that emote all the time. Don't worry about it. So, Cash. The airship is running. It's running out and it's parkouring over. And just like Caram said, he's like jumping off of these mountains, but they are cracking. And you know that you can see it. He is about to jump, like make a jump. That crystal is not formed. It's not really there. So we're going to crash down and the vehicle's going to be hurt. How do you make that not happen? It's like you finally feel at peace here with Midnight's shadow with you. You fully understand you're in the realm of dreams and you are controlling. You have sway over this place. What is it that you do that makes this a 20?
That he doesn't want everyone inside to get hurt. Since assuming that if that thing really isn't there, it's just going to come crashing down into nothing. That he dreams or hopes, or however you want to use the words, that there actually is something solid for them to land on.
Okay. That's good. Perfectly fine. Mountain shows up. I want to go a little bit extra with it.
Okay.
Like, what if, like, well, the engines don't work to get you guys, like, boosting in the air again, as, like, you land on that. Now, like, that rock is, like, solid there, and you guys can see it up ahead of you. You see the dream worm. And in a second, you guys are going to see it on the screen. Or, you know, here, I'll put it. This is in front of you. Like, mech flying and, like, Caram's, like, jumping off of it. Off the wall. But Cash is, like, need for nobody to be hurt. Like, underneath the cape, like, the just Warpletinger wings flourish out, like, huge. And now you guys are flying again, but not flying the way that the ship would fly, but flying the way that Pym can fly.
So the manual controls finally kicked on?
They kicked on and, like, fucking giant-ass silver wings popped out of the back of this thing.
Anybody knew it could do that?
It couldn't do that.
Oh.
And I don't think it's going to be able to do that once we leave.
Welcome to the realm of dreams.
You just willed that into
Chef
existence.
Fuego played this card.
I guess I
Reveal
did.
Your secrets. Identify a magical or technological secrets of an item. They use the dream to power
Yeah,
the ship's
like, the reveal your
engine.
secrets, absolutely. Like, that is what just happened. Cash has sway over this place in a significant way, as long as they believe that they do. Like, and you guys do see all of these faces of the Dreamworm are making that smile, like, over and over again, all over it. And it looks like a cornered animal right now. Like, to you, Pym and Lore, well, Lore more than, I guess, all of you. Lore's a predator species. You recognize that this thing is out of its weight class with the idea that you guys chased it here. It has its own level of fear. But it does look like it is geared up for a fight.
It's serious. They shouldn't have been able to make it here. How the fuck did they get here?
It's like, how the fuck did they get here? How the fuck are they in here in a vehicle? Why can that one control, like, my world? But yeah. What's the attack look like? Like, how do you... Oh, go ahead.
I would say, like, using the laser whip, you just get that nice, like, wind up, very Indiana Jones, like, couple around the head, couple around the body, and just start lashing out at the faces of the Dreamworm.
Oh, absolutely. Are you just attacking, or are you using an ability? Because I know you have an ability that hits a whole bunch of things.
I can add to it. So, yeah, let's see.
And
So
you
are we-
will... Oh, go ahead.
Are we counting this as one being?
It is a lot of beings. Like, it is, like... It's one boss, but, like, minions everywhere. Like, it can just
Oh.
create more of itself while it's here.
So were you thinking of
Like,
the human days, or were you thinking of Slayer?
I was thinking either one of those. Those are definitely things that I would love to get on screen, you know?
Okay, let's do Slayer just to, like, knock down these things and get to, like, more of a focal point. So Pym's going to add Slayer for herself, which instantly kills half of nearby minions rounded up. So the laser whip is just going and it's slashing through faces. And they're just like poofing into nothing.
Anime. It's like, Caram, Tim has full control over the whip right now, so you don't have control over that arm, but you have the right arm and you have, like, legs.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna let Laura go for me.
Oh, absolutely. Laura, what we got?
They're back first and foremost.
Laura's gonna just be with the arm that doesn't have the whip. Is gonna pull back, be ready to go. If anything lashes out, manages to get around the whip, to just reach out and crush it.
Absolutely, like, yeah. Let me roll, So, yeah, the Dreamworm does lash out with, like, countless little faces, the ones that are, like, but as they are trying, like, you are, the whip is just, like, lashing back and forth, cutting them now, but one of them does get close enough for an attack. Can you roll me a 20-sider? Oh, then if you fucking just... What's it look like? Do you just grab it in that hand?
It looks almost like it aimed straight for the palm of the mech. And that hand just wraps around it, squeezes.
Yeah, you just popped a Dreamworm. It's so citrusy that it's even getting through the mech at this point, for the record. Especially as you, like, pop that one right there. Cash, like, you feel this incredible nightmare around you, but, like, you just had a 20. Like, that was a 20, and, like, you have been possessed by another nightmare. I'm not sure how much worse, like, it could really go for you. But, like, is Cash, like, equivalent? Is Cash, like, a mess, or is Cash, like, finding themselves in this moment?
It started shaking, but he's starting to feel more for himself. Like, it's just like, yeah, wait a minute, I kind of, this feels oddly right. Which is scary to him, but it's better to be confident than terrified in the moment.
Absolutely. So, what's Cash's plan? Like, you can just make something up for this mech. There's extra guns everywhere. Like, if you want to use your abilities, go for it. Like,
oh yeah, definitely more guns.
Especially because, like we said, you control the nightmare, at least to a degree.
Yeah.
So what's it look like? What's Cash doing?
In the moment when he's been like, yeah, I get it, I like, this is going, you know, that he imagines, or he dreams, wills into existence, if you will, that these are hitting much harder. And I'm assuming this thing can understand him, correct? Like,
oh yeah, you
can,
yeah, for sure.
And as the cannons are, like, lining up to, like, take another shot, he has the thing and he goes, "You leave my friends the fuck alone." And then it shoots.
Alright. You give me a 20-sider, and I will also... Oof. Midnight Shadow did not do great.
Let's hope. Oh.
Oof! Alright, so... I think as, like, the cannon fires, like... one of the, like, worms, like, faces, like, swallows that cannonball and then just like grabs onto like where were you firing from? Like where did you dream the cannon into existence?
Probably on the non-whip arm.
Okay. Like the one that's holding that one. Oh god, that's gross. So as Lore like uses the hand to squeeze it, the head of it comes flying at you and just still biting. The head of this creature, which is about the size of your torso, you feel like its fangs sink into your shoulder and it's just attached to your arm and you take 4 damage. Alright, Caram, what you got? That is what's happening. Like the hand, you guys can see attached to the forearm is like an extra big, is a big ass cannon that Cash was at, but as Cash was getting ready to fire, the head of a snake bit into Cash's shoulder. Let me get tokens for this.
Can I see a path to get to the main body?
To get to the mass of snakes?
Well, specifically, like, its center.
In the mech or outside of the mech?
I have a fun idea. And it'll be outside the mech.
Yeah, sure. I think with the way that like Pim and Laura like taking care of this, like you could probably see. Oh, roll me a 20-sider, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, with a success. It's a dangerous path. But you can see the moment that all of the snakes would basically form a bridge. Like you would really have to like do a bunch of running and jumping and acrobatic shit, but you could do it.
Well, you already know what I'm going to do then.
Alright, Salad, what's the goal when you get to like center mass?
I think once I get to center mass, my goal is going to be to start striking its like magic points.
Alright. Give me a 20-sider.
Give me just 1 second. Could I spend 4 AP using focus to become like the wind so that minions cannot hit me with basic attacks unless they're 20?
Absolutely.
Will you still want that 20-sider?
Oh, definitely. 20-siders
Alright.
for a different thing. Alright. So you do exactly what you say you're after right there. Like you dodge the minions like left and right. They're lashing out like these multiple faces and snakes and arms and different shapes. Some of them are definitely like spider limbs, because who isn't terrified of spider limbs? Not me. But you see a massive like coil wrap around the back of the mech and like pulls it forward. Lauren, Pim, the mech is currently being like squeezed from the legs. Like you see, like you feel your legs are bound and it is dragging you to the ground. Right now you've got like huge mechanical wings that you didn't build, like currently like keeping you up, but this thing is trying to pull you to the ground.
Can Pim like poke her head out and do delirium trigger and hit it in 9 different spots to get it to let loose?
Yes, you definitely can. I get a 20-sided just for funsies though? Alright. So a tough choice. Caram, you can like as you're like running and dodging all these things, you see the pressure points on it. like you can see, and like make this as like storyline fun. Either one of them is fun for me.
All right.
You can see 5 of them, or you can see 7 of them. I will tell you right now, there are 7 of them anyway. But you can believe that you only see 5 of them. And I will tell you right now, if you hit all 5 of them, you also win.
I think because of how we ruled my ability earlier, I have to feel the 7.
Sure. Absolutely. So Laura, you realize you regain control, as Pim leans out the window, you regain control of the mech and are able to take it back into the air. And Cash and Pim, what do you two got? Cash and Laura, what do you two got for me? You see Caram is just as of right now, he is still running across a bunch of spiders and a bunch of these snake things, backflip, kicking shit in the head, all that wonderful stuff, as he approaches and just miraculously dodging all of the actually, let me make sure I didn't roll a 20 on that.
Fair enough.
Nope. Just dodging them left and right. But you guys do see the mass of the dreams looking at him. Caram is aiming for locations. So what you got, Lore?
Lore is just gonna go ham to keep that thing's attention on her, to make it believe the mech is the bigger threat than the little tiny man running towards its center.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, give me that 20-sider. $18, that'll do it though. What kind of attacks are you doing? What's it looking like? Know that it's this 18's for getting its attention more than it is for just a straight attack. So
yeah, this is I know I said I wasn't gonna do it again. We're channeling our inner Billiam again, and we're gonna go ramming speed, or what it looks like ramming speed with the mech, with just the whip out and just wound up and ready to hit.
Yeah, and it buys it.
Towards, its prominent face, just looking at you. We fucking got you, bitch.
And it buys it hook, line, and sinker. You see multiple heads dodge out of the way from your feint, and you see Caram land one of those pressure points just easy right there. You got it. Cash, what do you got? What's Cash doing in this moment? You can pull the snake head off of you or whatever. You're wounded, but
he does his best to ignore the pain and casts Trapped in the Margin to hold it down to keep so that Caram can get a better shot.
Absolutely. What story are you writing? What did you trap? How did you trap this in the margin? In the book that you write of this, what does it say happened to this creature?
That as it was going after or being attacked and trying to follow after Caram, that it's kind of doing that thing that cartoon snakes do where they tie into each other, kind of doing something similar to an Ouroboros.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's trapping itself within itself.
I love it. Give me 2d20.
Oh, right.
Like a rat king, but snake king.
Yeah. Like a terrible thing.
Did it do 2?
It just did 1.
Okay, I'll do it again then. I actually did it for 2, and it was just nah.
11 is a success. So Caram, you see one of them like come flying at your face, but then another one comes out of nowhere and like bumps into it, and they all just start like trying to lash at you in such a way that they are tying themselves tightly into a knot behind you. And like you can take that moment and like they somehow tied themselves into such a way that you see another 2 of those pressure points like right there, able for you to like just take out right now.
Oh, you know I'm going for it.
So what's it look like? You can hit 3 spots right now. You don't need to make a roll or anything. Just tell me like what limbs and situations. What does it look like when Caram's hitting these attacks?
For one, it's not an actual hit because he can see where it is, but because of how faint it is, he knows that he cannot actually hit it. So he has to reach out and barely like touch it with like his finger. And then the next 2, one is tied up directly in the center of the knot, and he just goes for a straight knee to that one. And the last one is directly under his foot. So as he knees, he spins around and stomps down on that 3rd one.
Perfect. I'm gonna roll. This is it attacking the ship. It did. So the Dreamworm like opens multiples of its mouths as it just like sees the feint for what it was finally, and like lunges forward, and it has the whip arm in its mouth, and it is just like it's doing 4 damage to it as it like is ripping at it. It's not destroyed, but it is quite damaged. Pim, Lore, Cash, what we got?
Didn't you say there is now a giant cannon attached to that arm?
There's a giant cannon attached to the other arm. Wait, no.
Didn't Cash say it was on the whip arm?
It was the arm opposite to the whip arm.
Oh.
Yeah, because that was the hand that squished the lemon head.
Yeah, it's a lemon head. So, yeah, all right. Lore, what does
quick,
what does the cross counter look like?
As it bites, because the whip was still wound up, so when it bites the whip arm and stops its movement, the whip just continues its momentum and wraps around that snake instead of like stopping.
Oh, that's sick. This is the main head too that's biting you. So like it doesn't like come off like a lightsaber, but you guys can see it like burning itself into the as it wraps around and is dealing the 4 damage to it as well. So Pim and Cat, and Lord, that wasn't your turn. That was just like a card. That was just like reflex. You guys have like you're holding it with the left hand. Like it damaged it, but you guys like choking it out. And like you were seeing it like it's less focused on the rest of it because like, you know, when you're getting choked out, it's hard to make 1,000 versions of yourself do something.
I want to take the other arm that has the cannon on it and bring it up to the neck of the snake, like right beneath the head, like right where the head connects to the neck, and just blast that cannon into it.
For sure. Cash and Pim, can you guys both give me a 20-sider for this? Yeah, 16 for Pim, like aiming, 18 for Cash, who dreamt this cannon up. When you created this cannon, Cash, what kind of ammunition did you dream that it had that was this successful?
Something more like akin to no metal.
Something like null metal, okay.
I'm not quite sure he's entirely aware of what no metal does, but knows what its properties do.
Yeah, so when you fire this Pim, like you blow its head off.
That was the goal.
So it does that like terrifying like tearing thing.
Real
Oh,
quick,
okay, all right.
More spectacular. So Laura's gonna, now that she's got like the head is stuck on the whip arm and the whip is stuck around it, she's gonna make sure it's pulled back and Pim has perfect shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
just putting a giant hole in it and then just tearing the rest of it off. This one really did go Fist of the North Star at some point. So yeah, Caram, can you roll me a 20-sider before this, like, as that is happening, like, as it is getting tense, I need to know how many of these you take out. Because you took out 3.
And then 1 from lore helping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so we've got 4. Can I get a 20-sider?
Could I use the ability as well?
Sure, what you got?
Limit break, single target.
Alright, so you will guarantee get 1.
Alright,
Alright.
sounds good. Alright, here's a 20-sider. Ah!
Oh, tough choice. Please, nobody change this. This is actually great for the story.
Yes, I am fine with it staying.
Alright. So you get the 1. Like, easy. Like, then you see 2 more. And I think here is, like, what's gonna happen. Is the 3rd one was underneath, the same as, like, the midnight one, was under the jaw of the head that they're currently ripping off. And, like, you hit the last 2, and Cash, you feel it immediately. Like, 2 things happen. Like, that body, that mass of worms inside this nightmare dies. It's dead. And, like, the pressure from the nightmare pressure everybody's been feeling is gone. And Cash, you've been feeling this since you arrived to this world. Like, you've, like, been feeling this nightmare. Like, you stop smelling lemons. All of you stop smelling lemons. It's gone. But as Pim and Laura, like, finished off the creature's body, they rip off the head, and the head goes flying out that crack in the orb, and you see it flying into the bone desert. Like, that is, like, an off-screen thing. Like, we see that happening. And I think there's definitely a moment where we see Cass and Clovis and Clem. Who else is in that game? And how, like, maybe Howell doesn't see it. Howell might be building guns. But we see those 3 as they are fighting back those spiders, like, look up, and like a shooting star is the head of the Dreamworm flying into the desert. And, like, Cass, Clovis, and Clem, they know where that is. Like, so a hunting they will go.
Nice tie-in. Perfect.
But yeah, you guys can, like, feel it now. Like, that thing is dead, and, like, not only dead, but you turn the body off. Like, it doesn't have any of its magic. But Cash, you suddenly you become aware of what's about to happen. That this nightmare realm is closing in on itself like a black hole situation. Like you need to bounce is basically what I'm saying.
We need to get out now. Now.
Oh yeah, the worm's gone.
I'd
was just a map layer.
We could probably just get out the same way we came in. Slash our way out.
Hopefully.
Or, I mean, you did dream us up a giant cannon. We could shoot our way out.
But then that would involve leaving the map behind.
Why?
Oh. I didn't think of it like that.
The cannon
we
is
got
attached to
wings.
us. We just blast through it and take her down.
Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to, like, eat that card. I pushed the wrong button. Ignore that.
No, you put the money. We'll refund that one for you. That art is just so clean for some reason on that scale. Alright, so yeah, what's the plan on getting out?
If it's closing in on itself, does that mean that the outer shell of it is also becoming less?
Oh, for sure, right? Like, it's definitely like there's fissures as like, I don't want to say like implode because I don't want to like hint at that fucking sub thing, but yes, this realm of nightmares is imploding on itself.
Mm.
So like, yeah, the outside is breaking apart, becoming very brittle. Like, it's about to shatter.
I would also use it to describe a black hole shattering in on itself.
This is also, it is becoming a singularity as well.
So what I'm hearing is...
Just shoot the
hearing
bitch. Let's get out.
I was gonna say ramming speed again.
Ramming speed.
Let's
Just
shoot
Cash,
and
get in
then
the legs.
go.
We're Caram is back.
All right. You know what? Everybody give me a 20-sider, but like whoever I rolled the highest, it is that character is what gets us out. Right? Ooh. Oh no, Pim, that was a 1.
Oh. Fuck me.
Hey Pim, that's gonna be a good. Thank you for voting for Bobbert.
That's 1 and 1 this game. Okay.
Still tied. Okay.
Well, let's see what I roll. That's fair.
Okay, alright. So, Cash gets us out. Like, we know Cash and Lore. Like, Lore's flying, impeccable. Gets us out, no problem. Cash, what is it that you do that... Like, what between the two of you, how do you guys get us out of here?
Since the wings weren't there before, the absolute need to get out possibly makes them much stronger and quicker than they were before to just go for it.
Oh, for sure. And Lord, do you just take to this wing flying like
a fish in water?
Like a fish. I was trying not to say it.
That's okay because I said it.
So yeah, like you guys fly right at it. And like you guys are right at the customer. You know you can break it. And you guys will break it. But Caram and Pim. What about the weapons broke to do this? Like you guys get through, but it was way harder than expected. Like you guys didn't know. Pim did get it 1, so something breaks. Otherwise, the airship is gonna be hurt from this, guys.
That lovely new cannon that we used to bust through exploded.
Did it take the whole arm?
No, it just like blew up, and now the arm is like malfunctioning a little bit. Like I can't grip anything tight. So it's like the arm still moves, but we can't pick anything up with it.
I'd like to do something that's stupid.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Of course.
Karam's going to notice that it's not cracking fast enough as it's closing in. Is going to jump out to punch it with his null ability.
Karam, what the hell?
But we know that's a 3. So Caram, like, flashback to.
Would you?
What's that?
1 more roll?
Oh no, I'm taking that 3 that you just did.
I meant for the other part of it.
Oh. Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see how this.
So yeah.
I am going to be hurt after this.
Yeah.
So Caram, I think, like, this is in my head. This is very funny. I think we have a scene of like Fang set up, like training you. That is just the stack upon stack of bricks. Like, and it's just like, these are highly enchanted bricks. They come from Yoke. You do realize you're not going to be able to step foot in Yoke ever again, correct?
What?
You are violently illegal in Yoke. Your existence, I'm not allowed to go anywhere near Yoke. I have to get my Adventurers Guild acceptance from other places. But we are not allowed to set foot in Yoke once we begin learning these abilities.
Very well.
And he's like, excellent. And he raises his hand over it, and he does the thing where he breaks all of the bricks in one go. And I think there's just a montage of Caram just not being able to get that last brick. And it's just like, over and over again, can get it. And then we see the very similar thing. Caram smashes this wall, and it fractures all but a tiny bit of it on the other side. And that's when, because that is still, there, you guys hear the arm break as it, of the mech's arm, breaks as it just cracks through that last bit of it. And then you guys, you get sucked out into, not space, but into the air. Let me move some things around because the airship's doesn't look like that. Oh, and all you guys are here.
I'm pretty sure I'm still there. I jumped out.
Oh yeah, we can have that.
my
We can have
God.
the airship snatch you out of the air for what's about to happen. Your wings go away once you're not in the realm of nightmares, and you guys can't fly.
So
Laura, can you
for
roll me an
justice-
emergency landing? Oh yeah.
We're gonna tuck.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry. I interrupted.
I was gonna say, just for such occasions, we definitely have some kind of backup massive parachute that should help a little bit. Help.
Oh, I'm here for it. Give me that. Oh, fucking natural 20, absolutely. Yeah, Laura, how's the airship not only not hurt, you guys' parachutes work
So-
perfectly.
So I'm gonna say it's not a parachute. It's even with the one arm not working, we use the cape to glide and then kind of tuck and roll into the ground in the mech.
Yes.
And it does leave a giant rut in the ground where we land.
But the mech and the people are safe.
Remind me to never go on this death trap ever again.
Mostly safe.
Death Trap, you're alive.
And I said,
Mm.
you guys aren't here. Go away, guys.
Like how B was just in the sky for a second.
That's where she lives. Alright, so... And... As you guys land, the nightmares around the area, the bodies of those spiders you guys were dealing with, the fears of falling that everybody in the Silver Thimble have been feeling, all of that, and most importantly, the scent of lemons is getting pulled into that orb, sucked directly into it, and you guys can feel it going away. And Cash, you can feel the whole world feeling completely different to you. Vatna, the taste of lemons isn't permeating everything anymore. It's just exists, and then it shrinks, and it shrinks, and it shrinks, and it shrinks, and then it goes away. Except for a tiny egg-sized ball falls into the ocean. Or falls into the sea in the area. I don't think anybody sees it do it. I think it's too far away. But right up here on the map, there's a tiny little splash. It's right underneath the bingo. Yeah. And yeah, how do you, yeah, you guys landed. You did it. You fucking drove the Dreamworm out of the nightmare. And not only that, but like severely hurt it.
We also made an epic superhero landing.
You
Yeah.
fucking sure did. Like,
And-
the cape turns
Kaiju
into a
battle.
flag that just says Fish Tinger Industries. It's like, yes, 100%.
And then there's a tiny flag that says Vote Krieg.
We're like literally standing there with like our hands on our hips, and the cape is flowing, and it just says Fish Tinger. It's just flapping in the breeze.
Because it was a 20 though, and it did get Krieg a vote. Is it like it literally? It's just also a banner for Krieg.
Vote Krieg.
I think so.
It's just like people in the neighboring town. Like I thought you landed like in the plains, but you guys could have landed next to like landed at Silver Thimble. Everybody just doesn't have like. The mech that's a superhero landing in the middle of the street doesn't hurt anybody. Everybody's perfectly safe. Doesn't even hurt the street. Plants a flag that just says Vote Krieg. Everybody just got over a nightmare, and the first happy thing they see is a giant-ass mech telling them to vote for Krieg.
Yes,
Yes,
it's canon.
this is what happened.
Oh my god.
And she's like, I hear a lot of good things about Krieg.
I heard he funded that company with the mech that just, blew up the Dreamworm.
Ah, shit, that was a
Because
Dreamworm?
of
We had no
Krieg.
idea. We were all the way over here, having nightmares.
You get used to it.
So yeah, like with that, like you guys can all like regather with the whole crew back at like the diving bell. And like getting ready, like everybody's talking about like putting a hunting party together to go hunt like what Clem, Cass, and Clovis saw, like make its way to the Bone Desert. And it's just like we know what they're hunting, like the last bits of the Dreamworm in physical form.
I would like to state that the mech is going straight into the hangar, and the mice are going to immediately get to work on trying to repair the transformation.
You know what? Give me a roll.
Let's see how long it takes, everybody. You don't want me to do this. Yes, you
13?
do.
Absolutely fine. What part would you like fixed for next weekend's games? You can repair one part.
Can I do the transformation?
Yeah, we can fix the transformation. Like it can turn back into an airship.
Let's-
Just the hallways that would be that right arm are pretty damaged.
Okay. I'll say do that. Because
Oh.
not everybody can use the mech, but now at least they can use the ship.
I fully support that. And like Caram, you know that null is the way to beat dreams. Like you can just eliminate them flat out. So you can pass that information on to the hunting party tomorrow.
Sounds good. I have training to do.
Cash has somebody else's shadow.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that.
Is it funnier, everybody? Is it funnier if Cass, under like the normal sun, has two shadows?
Yes.
Like if it just splits and there's like you see Cash's shadow and you see Midnight's shadow.
Yes. I like that. Personally.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was. Oh wait. I think. Nope. That's not the stinger. We're good. And So yeah, tomorrow we have the hunt. Like tomorrow we are hunting down the Dreamworm. Which now, if you guys are wondering why I named the game Life is a Lemon and I Want My Money Back, that is why. But a terrible song. Don't listen to it. It's like 8 minutes long and it's bad, guys.
Good lord.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much. Oh, sorry, recap real quick. So this crew, like Caram, Pim, Cash, and Lore, at the start of this game with the giant nightmare crystal in the sky, they just fucking charged for it. They didn't said fuck it, let's go. And they beat a shadow on the way in, and their way of getting into it was turning the airship into a mech and cutting the fuck out of the crystal, which I'm just here for all the time. Once they got in, Cash was a bit overwhelmed by the fact that they were in the realm of nightmares. Like, they were there. Like, physically in nightmares. Pim picked up on a signal that matched Midnight's energy, which was weird. So they went and investigated that. They found out that this is where Midnight's real shadow has been since he lost it due to a contract. And now that shadow is connected to Cash, which will be a fun thing to deal with. We've learned that Caram was really good at his studying under Fang, except for when it comes to just raw power. He doesn't have enough he doesn't have subtlety, and he doesn't have raw power, but he does have, he's graceful, and he can identify weak points very easily. He also is not allowed into Yoke. And with that, they killed the Dreamworm, all except for the tip of one of its heads. One of its heads was ripped off and thrown into the real world, where Clovis, Cass, Clem, and Howl are going to hunt that thing down tomorrow. The mech got pretty banged up, but Pim was able to repair the ability to transform. And that was it. That was this game. I had a great time.
This was a fucking awesome game.
See, I told you everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Cash
Like
is now gonna go sleep for a year.
Like I
Guys,
said,
we're heroes.
what could go wrong?
Oh yeah, everything's just fine.
Cash, you just have a buddy now.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I almost forgot. That giant dream crystal created a singularity and folded in onto itself into such a dense form that it then fell into the ocean.
Which none of us know about.
I think there might have been a scene of Patagon looking through a spyglass at it as it was doing it, and it just it's Patagon following the orb down into the ocean.
Oh no.
Egg.
Egg.
Of course, the bird sees the egg. Got it.
Egg.
So thank you guys all so very much. Tomorrow we are playing Life is a Lemon and I Want My Money Back. Or just Life is a Lemon, and that is, we're hunting down the rest of this motherfucker. We killed it as a nightmare, we're gonna kill it as a thing, we're gonna get rid of it. That is the plan. And I couldn't have put together a better hunting team, except for I did put together that hunting team. And then we have a game on Monday, and that one's going to be based on whatever happens tomorrow. But then next weekend we have the wrestling game Devil's Dance Floor on Friday. If you guys haven't had a chance to look at the book, I will give it to you again. Or if I haven't given it to you once, I'm sorry. But I will get you guys the book. Look through it. I will explain the premise after tomorrow's game. And then all week, it's all hitters, everybody. The rest of this month, it's all going to be great games. All of them have been great games, but now we're really ramping up into my bullshit. So get excited for that.
Ooh.
We're ramping into the games that all of these games have been building towards.
I'm very
We're all here for the bullshit.
I'm excited for all of your bullshit.
I hope so. And
Ready for your bullshit.
thank you guys for playing so very much, and thank you, Esmie, for jumping in. I know you put yourself down on the wait list, and that's what that's for. But I really appreciate you coming in and showing up for it.
Look, I
Thanks,
100%
Esmie.
abandoned my boyfriend mid collab stream. Was like, nope, I gotta go. Bye.
Oh shit, I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Get
Oh no,
fucked.
I'm not sorry. I told him ahead of time, hey, just in case, so you know, I'm just gonna
Esmie,
bounce.
it was so fun playing with you.
Yeah.
It's always great playing with you all.
Yes, Esmie always.
Hell yeah.
And see, Cash, it wasn't that bad.
I mean, I got a friend.
Everything was fine.
Oh shit, that's the stinger. I'm sorry, before we leave. Like, so you guys are all sitting around the diving bell, like talking to Clem, Cass, and Clovis and Howl as they like get ready, prepare. Like this is Caram explaining like null metal works the best, and like Howl like preparing the null metal bullets, and like Clem and Cash having their conversation. Somebody says something that is morbidly funny. You know, like in gallows humor. I don't know exactly what was said, but you see all four of you start to laugh, and each one of you have that smile. And I'm adding an ability to you four, like the nightmare walkers that you are, that when you want to intimidate somebody through fear, if you tell me you do that smile, you will get a bonus to it.
Oh, hell yeah!
Welcome to my world, motherfuckers!
Yes!
I just have to add how unsettling it'll be from Lore, especially because she's got a full mouth of pointed teeth.
Yeah, Pim's fangs just start looking a lot bigger.
Somewhere Cash just has that, light underneath his face, and it just makes it so much worse.
I'm gonna freak out Ento all the time.
Like nonstop.
Oh man, I wish I just remembered something I forgot to tell him.
Yeah!
And yeah.
I wonder where my family is.
Talk with Ento.
Basically. I'm sure they've had a talk about it, but everybody's been very busy these last couple weeks. These games are literally are running into each other. Like tomorrow's game is going to happen the next day. Like once they are fully equipped for the hunt, they are heading out. And I think Monday is when Tomb Squad should get back, but we won't know the information about Sal until Saturday's game. So yeah.
Should make for a very exciting time.
I'm very excited, everybody. You guys did great. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you everyone for playing and for grabbing card packs and everything and just being part of stuff. We appreciate the heck out of you guys. We're gonna disappear, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific for Life is a Lemon. Bye forever.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye! Bye!